Dolphins versus Bills highlights, lowlights, and grades coming at you here. Your host, Mitchell Renz. The Buffalo Bills, they go to 2-0 after a 31-28 win over the Miami Dolphins, and Josh Allen absolutely rips the Miami defense with 4 touchdowns. He looked absolutely spectacular in this one. Coming in, though, the Miami Dolphins, they were 6.5-point underdogs on BetUS. Maybe you took Miami to cover. If you did, you're going to be smiling on that one. Also, the over-under in this game was only 42.5. Hopefully, you took the over because this game was all about offense. Coming into this game, a lot of concentration was on young quarterback Josh Allen. Can he continue to show that he is taking the next steps? And then Ryan Fitzpatrick, after a rough Week 1 game against the New England Patriots, where he threw for 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I went on BetUS and I was like, all right, give me the over-unders for these quarterbacks here. Josh Allen's over-under, 230.5 passing yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 223.5. I don't know about you. I took the over on both of these. Josh Allen tosses for 417 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, the kid was nearly perfect, ripping apart this Miami defense, and it also didn't help that Byron Jones went down with an injury. We'll get into more of that here in a little bit. Also, though, for the Miami Dolphins, Ryan Fitzpatrick has a nice bounce-back game, throwing for 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those touchdowns and some of those yards did come in garbage time, but you know what? I don't care about garbage time because the money that was put in my pocket was 100% real. Maybe you took the over-unders in those games. Maybe you want to do more player pop bets. Maybe you want to bet on the Dolphins or all NFL games going forward. You can do that thanks to our sponsor, BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet. When you go there, use promo NFL Daily. That's going to get you 125% deposit bonus of at least $100 deposits. What does that mean exactly? You put down $100, guess what? You get $125 for free. Shout out to BetUS, and if anybody needs help betting, you can always hit me up. I'm on IG and I'm on Twitter at MitchellRentz365. Let's now get into some grades, shall we? The offense, they get a B grade for me. And there was some ups, there was some downs. There's definitely a point in the game where I'm going to be looking at a 4th and goal. Ryan Fitzpatrick tries to hit Preston Williams, and for some reason, he jumped in the air and he dropped the football. Was a little bit curious on why he ended up doing that, but bottom line, Buffalo, they have one of the best defenses in the National Football League. The ability to put up 28 points, 410 yards in a game that also had some pretty bad, crappy weather. That's the reason why I gave the Dolphins offense a B grade. Now, though, let's go to the defensive side of the football, and I'll be honest, the defense, they get a D-. This would not be a report card I'd be excited to come home and show my mom. And honestly, Brian Flores should be very, very frustrated with his defense, a defense that he spent a ton of money on in free agency. You gave up 31 points to Buffalo, which that's okay, like in some aspects of it. I guess maybe that's not worth a D- grade, but you gave up over 400 passing yards. That's never good enough. That is never going to get it done. Sure, you had a takeaway. Yes, you did lose your best defensive player in Byron Jones, but I think every person that watches this video wouldn't give the defense a very high grade. Let's go to special teams here, where you didn't do anything spectacular. You also didn't shoot yourself in the foot. For that reason, you're just going to get a B grade for me. If you disagree with any of my grades on this video, the coolest part about Chat Sports, we want to know what you have to say, so throw your grades in the comments section. And to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos, go ahead, click that big red button that says subscribe. Right now, this is the fastest growing Dolphins channel on YouTube. Just crossed 3,500 subs. Let's continue to sub. Let's continue to grow this bad boy. Let's now go to my Week 2 highlights for the Miami Dolphins here. The first player that I'm going to highlight that I thought he played pretty well, Ryan Fitzpatrick, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. Really faced a lot of criticism last week. Also faced a lot of questions for Tua. Is it going to be Tua time? We'll dive into that one as well. Let's go to the tight end position now. Mike Gesicki. And man, I'll tell you what, absolutely love me some Gesicki. He is one of the best, most talented tight ends at catching the football in the league. I mean, look at these numbers here. 8 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown. The touchdown did come late, but as soon as Devontae Parker went down with an injury, I told everyone in fantasy, you better go out and get this kid. Next player up here on our list is going to be a wide receiver, Devontae Parker, a player last week left early, 4 catches, 47 yards last week with a hamstring injury. This week, comes back, finds the end zone, 5 catches, 53 yards. To me, he is still the number 1 option on this offense. You need to be able to look at him, especially in the red zone. One more player to add here on my highlights, if you will, from this game. Shout out to Nick Needham, and he played well. And I mean, when you look at a lot of the defensive players, overall, he was all over the football field. I mean, my man had 12 tackles, 6 of them were solo, and really, they needed him to step up because as soon as Byron Jones went down with that injury, it got pretty shaky there for Miami, especially for Miami in the secondary. So bottom line, not too good, but I do have a question. What is your one-word reaction to the Dolphins' 31-28 loss to the Buffalo Bills? So scroll on down. Let me know your one-word reaction. For me, upset. Or is power outage one word? Probably not. Yes, this game did lose some power. I want this Dolphins team to be able to show that they can compete. Yes, they did. They didn't give up, which is great news. Now, we did the highlights. Now it's time to get into the lowlights. But before I do have a special offer for everyone. If you didn't want to get started on betting, maybe you want a Tua jersey. Go to chatsports.com/Tua where you can get a Tua jersey actually for only $74.99. Yes, $74.99. But maybe you want some other Tua gear. We got Tua shirts. We got Tua face masks. If your bottom line is this, if you're saying, Mitch, it's Tua time, it's time to go out and get yourself some Tua gear on sale at the link that you see below. I'll also put it in the description and the comments, chatsports.com/Tua. All right, low lights time. These are the players that either didn't play well or some bad news. Byron Jones had 1 tackle in this game, but was forced to leave early with a groin injury. And his status in terms for Week 3 is still up in the air. Luckily for him and for the Miami Dolphins, they're going to get 10 days rest because they're going to be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay? You're going to be playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, so you're going to have plenty of time to sit up there and rest. Let's now go to Matt Breida here, running back. And I had Matt Breida in a lot of my fantasy leagues, honestly, and between all the running backs, he might look the worst out of them all. And I think Myles Gaskin right now is the no-doubt starter for this team. 7 carries. Yes, he still had the same amount as Matt Breida, but then you also got to be worried about Jordan Howard, who's getting the red zone touches. Now, sure, he did find the end zone, but Jordan Howard was brought into this football team to get those tough goal-to-go situations. Personally, I don't think he looked very good, and I don't really think the Miami Dolphins have a lot of confidence in him. And in fact, I don't think this team has a lot of confidence in their running game in general. Let's go to my last player here, who is a low light, and it's Noah Igbinoghene. And as soon as Byron Jones went down, they asked a lot out of the rookie cornerback from Auburn to step up, and you needed to take on Stefon Diggs. Well, yeah, that didn't happen. Stefon Diggs absolutely roasted Noah in this entire secondary, the entire game. Goes for 8 catches, 153, and maybe the biggest one was late in the fourth quarter on like a 3rd down. Stefon Diggs gets open for like a 30-yarder, and I mean, you could just see it. It was just an absolute stake in the heart of every Dolphins fan. But if you want to continue to improve, you need to be able to shut down players like Stefon Diggs. I know I'm going to get this question. I know I'm going to end up having it, and it's going to be in the comments. So you know what? Give me a Y for yes, or I want you to type your N for no. Is it Tua time? Is it Tua time? I'm not 100% sure about that. I understand that people want to see him. Ryan Fitzpatrick played well. So for me, I'm going to type my N for no. So earlier I talked about Byron Jones' injury. That was my mistake. With it being Thursday Night Football, he's got to figure it out real quick whether or not he can come back. But after, if they do want to rest in Week 3, that's when you have the longer rest period in Week 4 against the Seahawks. Week 5, 49ers, they might be the only team that has the more injuries than Miami. The Broncos and the Chargers, those are your next 5 games. If you made it this far in the video, let me know out of those next 5 games how many Miami's going to win.